Anantu, nestled in the heart of lush landscapes, is a village characterized by its fertile lands and thriving ecosystem. Men in Anantu skillfully cultivate the rich soil, ensuring bountiful harvests from crops like cassava, yams, and various fruits. The nearby rivers and lakes offer plentiful fishing opportunities, enhancing the village's sustenance and livelihood. Women in Anantu contribute to the village's prosperity by engaging in vibrant crafts, such as weaving intricate baskets and crafting traditional pottery. These handcrafted items not only fulfill local needs but also serve as sought-after trade goods. The village's prosperity has become widely known, attracting neighboring villages that eagerly come to trade. In this village of Anantu lived Keli, a captivating woman of striking beauty, adorned the landscape like a rare flower. Her perfect features and graceful demeanor made her the object of desire for many villagers. Yet her heart was consumed by an insatiable hunger for wealth and luxury. Keli's disdain for the simple life led her to yearn for a man who could elevate her status and arrogantly turn down the numerous advances of the young men in the village. Keli's parents, simple folk who cherished values and humility, constantly attempted to steer her away from the path of greed. Despite their efforts, Keli's stubbornness prevailed, and she remained fixated on the idea of finding a wealthy suitor who is worthy to be her partner. Few months later, there were sudden whispers of a young, mysterious and dashing stranger named Kwame, who had taken residence in the grand mansion at the outskirts of the village, whose owner had been a mystery until his arrival. The villagers, intrigued by the sudden arrival and fascinated by the allure of the mansion, soon discovered that Kwame harbored ambitions of starting a prosperous farming and trading business. Keli, upon learning about Kwame's arrival, took it as the gods' answers to her long-time prayers. She saw an opportunity to fulfill her dreams of opulence. She set her sights on Kwame, employing every charm and trickery in her arsenal to capture his attention. Seductive smiles and carefully orchestrated encounters became Keli's modus operandi. Unbeknownst to Keli, Kwame, though enticed by her beauty, was not swayed by material desires. He was a man of mystery, with an aura that left the villagers intrigued. As Keli continued her pursuit, her actions took a dark turn. She resorted to threats and hired goons to intimidate any woman who dared to approach Kwame. Kwame was astutely aware of Keli's wicked acts of threatening and intimidating the women who tried to approach him. He observed her every move with a keen eye, silently acknowledging her ruthless pursuit of power. Weeks passed, and Kwame, with Keli's persistent efforts, finally acknowledged her presence. Their relationship blossomed, and Keli, consumed by her desire for a lavish life, pushed for a hasty marriage. Kwame, still an enigma, agreed to meet her parents. In one chilling moment, Kwame's eyes gleamed with an evil glint when Keli persuaded him to meet her parents. However, he quickly hid this sinister expression before she could notice, leaving a subtle trail of malevolence in his wake. Keli's parents, disappointed and concerned for their daughter's hasty decision, attempted to reason with her. They urged her to take the time to truly understand the man she intended to marry. However, Keli perceived their advice as a manifestation of favoritism towards her obedient younger sister. She argued fiercely with her parents and threatens to get married without their approval. Despite their reservations, Keli's parents reluctantly agreed to the union. The village buzzed with the news of marriage between the mysterious stranger and Keli, who had managed to win his heart. With her parents' blessing, Keli's joy reached new heights as she proudly paraded Kwame's wealth and her dazzling ring, reveling in the envy of her friends. She orchestrated a lavish wedding that echoed through the neighboring villages, a spectacle of opulence designed to showcase her newfound status. Keli, now Kwame's wife, immersed herself in a flamboyant life, flaunting luxurious clothing and jewels, relishing in the admiration and jealousy of those around her. Yet, amid the grandeur, an unsettling darkness loomed over the grand mansion. One night, as Kwame ventured to the city for business, Keli found herself alone in the expansive residence. Eerie sounds reverberated through the empty halls, unsettling the once confident woman. Shadows danced ominously, and whispers echoed as if the very walls held secrets. The air grew heavy with an otherworldly presence. The flickering candlelight cast eerie shadows that seemed to dance to an unseen melody. Keli's heart raced as ghostly whispers murmured words that sent shivers down her spine. Objects moved on their own accord, and chilling gusts of wind whispered secrets only the spirits understood. In the silent hours of the night, Keli cowered beneath the closet cabinet, trembling with fear as the strange occurrences unfolded around her. Unearthly footsteps echoed through the mansion, accompanied by the distant sounds of haunting laughter. Shadows morphed into ghostly figures, each one carrying a tale of despair and regret. Morning arrived, and Keli, groggily emerging from her hiding place, found solace in Kwame's return. Rushing into his arms, she poured out her harrowing experience from the night before. Tears streamed down her face as she described the eerie symphony that had tormented her. However, Kwame, oblivious to the supernatural forces at play, dismissed Keli's fears as mere illusions fueled by the movies she watched. He assured her that all was well, wrapping her in a false sense of security. Little did Keli know, the spirits within the mansion had only just begun to reveal their stories. As time passed, Keli started thinking maybe the scary things she saw before were just her imagination. She enjoyed her time with Kwame in the big house. She continued showing off her nice things to her friends and giving gifts to her parents. Every woman in town wished they could be like her. Kwame's business did well, and he went to the city often. But at night, when Keli was alone in the house, strange things happened again. She couldn't take it anymore. She told Kwame the house was haunted, but he didn't believe her. He thought she was making it up to go to the city with him. Kwame said she could leave and go back to her parents' house if she didn't stop. Keli didn't want to go back to being poor, but she also didn't want to stay in the haunted house. She had to decide between keeping her wealth and facing the scary things, or giving it up to be safe with her family. One day, while Kwame was away in the city, Keli seized the opportunity to seek help from a famous priest in the neighboring village. She explained her fears, and the priest gave her a bottle of holy water, telling her to spray it on any spiritual forms that troubled her. Keli kept the bottle close and returned to the mansion with newfound courage. That night, as terrifying sounds echoed through the mansion, Keli bravely grabbed the bottle of holy water and ventured into the corridor. There she encountered a horrifying creature rushing towards her, as if intent on devouring her. With trembling hands, Keli emptied the entire bottle on the creature, causing it to wail in agony as the holy water burned it. As the creature's form distorted, Keli gasped in shock to see that it was none other than Kwame himself. Confusion and a flood of emotions overwhelmed her as she realized that her beloved husband had been the source of her torment all along. In pain from the effects of the holy water, Kwame's disguise faded, revealing his true form. He turned to Keli with anger burning in his eyes. Kwame screamed in anger, causing Keli to shrink back in fear.
"How dare you?"
With a trembling voice, she asked,
"What are you?"
Kwame's reply was filled with intense hatred and mockery as he replied,
"Of course I'm your husband. Remember, you married me just weeks after we met, all because of my wealth, right? You threatened and hurt those women who came near me, and haven't I given you everything you wanted? Money, luxury, whatever you asked for, I provided. And now you try to hurt me? I'll make you regret it. I'll make you regret being greedy. Women like you deserve this. I once loved a woman like you, and she killed me for my wealth. Now, I'll make you all pay."
With a brutal force, Kwame dragged Keli's broken body to the storeroom and locked her inside. He fed her during the day but tormented her at night. After enduring days of torture, Keli broke down, her mind on the verge of collapse. Kwame continued his charade as a businessman, going into the village as usual to check on his growing business. Whenever people asked about Keli, he'd say she was feeling unwell. One fateful day, when Kwame went out as usual, Keli summoned her last bit of courage and managed to escape through the window. With her haggard appearance, bruised body, she ran towards her parents' house. Astonished villagers watched as she fled, murmuring among themselves about her condition. Sensing the commotion, Kwame ran after Keli, catching up to her. He calmly tried to persuade her to return home, but Keli screamed and refused. Kwame explained to the villagers that Keli had become upset because he wouldn't let her move to the city. He claimed she'd started acting out, even threatening to ruin his reputation if he didn't comply. He said he had no choice but to lock her up until she calmed down. The villagers, believing his story, watched in confusion. Amid the chaos, a priest emerged from the crowd and confronted Kwame. He told Kwame he doesn't belong here and he should leave the woman alone. With nothing left to lose, Kwame revealed his true nature and refused to let Keli go, claiming she was bound to him and she must suffer for her greed. After an intense struggle, Kwame's spirit dissipated, never to return again. Overwhelmed with relief, fear, and regret, Keli broke down in tears. She wished she had never been so greedy. She was taken back to her parents' house, where she lived with haunting memories, never venturing outside again. Keli's story spread throughout the village and neighboring villages, becoming a cautionary tale shared among women and young girls. It taught them about the dangers of greed and the consequences of prioritizing wealth over happiness. Formerly envious of Keli's lavish lifestyle, the women thanked God and found contentment in their own lives, realizing that true wealth lies in gratitude and simplicity.